Good morning. My name is Abdul, and I'm a representative of Kadarko.com. So today, what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to show you how to configure your shipping fee on your store. And there are different ways by which you can do that. You can do it by doing it zone by zone. Now this is a dashboard of a vendor to whom I actually want to help configure the shipping and delivery fees for their store, so that whenever somebody wants to buy something from their store, these prices can always be added to it. So which means that the buyer is the one that is going to pay for the delivery, and there won't be any problem when checking out. Now this is a vendor's dashboard, just like I have said, and if you would see, this is actually the shipping place. So what I have done is that from the dashboard I clicked on let me say back to dashboard. Okay, the internet is a little bit it's slow. Alright, it's coming up now. This is the dashboard. So what I have done from here is that I've been able to log on. Then I clicked on settings. So if you click on settings, because you are a vendor, if you click on settings, your own page is actually different from the settings page of somebody who is buying. So here right now, you then click on shipping. So this was the page I was when I started this tutorial. Now this is the shipping page. Here right now, what we are trying to do is trying to configure the shipping fee. So the default is that you would have to configure it zone by zone. What do I mean zone by zone? This is Nigeria North Central, Nigeria North East, Nigeria Northwest, Nigeria Southeast, Nigeria South South, Nigeria Southwest. Now this has been grouped into geopolitical zones. So you can give a price to Nigeria North Central. So any country that falls, any states that falls in between Niger, Abuja, Benue, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, and Plateau would have the price with which you configured here. Any states that falls within here will have the price you configure here. Any states, and subsequently. Now if for example I am the buyer and I input my address, and my address has Niger on it, obviously the price here will be added to my shipping fee. So there are different ways by which this is the first way. Then the other way is that this is the first way, and this one is easier, more comprehensive basically. So for instance, I can say, because I personally live in the southwest, so if I click here now, for example, I live in Lagos, so if I click here to configure for the southwest, okay, this is it. I will click on add shipping method. Then right here I will click on flat rate. When I click on flat rate, I'll click on add shipping method. So flat rate, then I will edit. So the edit for flat rate now is 1,000 naira. For example, I can say 3,000 naira if I live in Abuja and I want to send something to Lagos, because you have to consider where you live and you have to consider where you're sending it to as a vendor. So where you live and where you're sending it to will largely determine the price with which you put on each of these stuffs, on each of these zones, as the case may be. So right now, assuming I live in Abuja and I want to send it to Lagos, so what I'm going to do is that I can say 3,000 naira, or perhaps I can say 2,000 naira, whichever one I feel is more comfortable for me. So if you want to add tax, yes you can, but obviously it doesn't really make sense adding tax, because the product itself should already include the tax fee and many other stuff like that. So you can put in your description saying pick up, or perhaps doorstep delivery, blah blah blah. Just configure it the way you want to. So if I input 2,000 right here right now, Okay, and I click on save settings. Okay, so that has been saved. It's saving right now. So when it saves, I mean, today the internet is bad today, I don't know why. So when it saves like that, then you click on save changes. So that is the first way. That is the first way to do it. So because I'm not sure the vendor is willing to do it this way, I would rather go the other way, because he has not contacted me about how much he's willing to put on each of these zones, as a case may be. So I'm waiting for this stuff to come up. Let me refresh, so maybe I can have my hands on it real quick. Okay, good. So yeah, here we are. So this is the rate that has been added. So if I want to turn it off at any point in time, I can turn it off here, assuming I don't want to delete it, assuming I just want to turn it off. But right now I'm willing to delete, so let me just say if I want to turn off, I turn it off here. Then if I want to turn it on, I click here again and I turn it on. So when I turn it off, it told me shipping has been disabled successfully. Now, because I'm not willing to use any of this zone stuff, I want to use the other method, which is that I want to use the previous Kadarko marketplace shipping system, which enables you to configure your price state by state instead of having to configure your prices zone by zone. Now if I click here, and the reason for that is because many of this shipping fee, or perhaps many of this shipping logistics company, have different prices to different states. Some people might actually know these prices and they feel like, okay, let me configure it state by state. So that way, this is the place you have to configure it after I click here. So if you are willing to return back to the other page, this is it. If you want to configure zone-wise shipping, zone-wise was the one I left, which is southeast, northeast, northwest, and all of those stuff. So if you wish to go back to it here, now here is a very basic page. What this place is telling you is that if you are not willing to configure your shipping fee state by state, if you want to just give it a static price, maybe just 2,000 naira for any state, you just click enable shipping functionality, then you input your amount here, default shipping price. So the amount you input here will be added to any product regardless of wherever it is going in Nigeria. So right now here in this place, what I'm going to do is that I want to say my product ships from Nigeria. It ships from Nigeria. Then I have to enable shipping. I'll come over right here. I'll say select ships to Nigeria, obviously Nigeria. Then what is the cost? So as it ships to Nigeria, I can say add location state. Then when I click on that, because I've clicked on Nigeria, it brought out state for me. Now if I'm selling from abroad, if I'm selling from the United States, for instance, I can say ships from the United States here. Then I can say ships to Nigeria, and I can say my shipping fee is 3,000 naira, provided I want to do inter-country deliveries. Now in this case, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to configure it for Nigeria alone. I'm focusing on Nigeria alone. So I'm shipping from Nigeria and I'm shipping to Nigeria, and these are the states in Nigeria. You see, everywhere else is basically trying to tell the system that every other part in Nigeria should be so amount. So if I say Lagos, for example, cost 1,000 naira to ship, then I'll click on this plus. It will show me another state. Then I can say everywhere else is 2,000 naira. So what this implies is that even if I'm sending it to Nasarawa, or even if I'm sending it to Abuja, even if I'm sending it to Kwara State, everything will be 2,000 naira. only Lagos will be 1,000 naira. So I've given it an exemption that only Lagos should be 1,000 naira basically. So this is that for that. So provided you are selling something out of Nigeria, or you have people who are willing to buy outside of Nigeria, you can say you're shipping from Nigeria and you're shipping to, for instance, South Africa. So if you click on South Africa here, okay, yeah, here it will populate for you. It will tell you Eastern Cape, Freetown, Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, North Cape, Northwest, Western Cape. So let me say Western Cape is 5,000 naira. Then everywhere else in South Africa, is 3,000, is maybe 8,000 naira. So I've added that. So if I want to ship to another country, I can ship to as many countries as I want. Yeah, now I can say Nigeria here. So when I click on that, okay, let me wait for it to populate. Okay, somehow it's not showing me. Okay, basically is the internet issue. Yeah, so this is it has loaded for me. So let me say, the way it was before. Lagos 1,000 error, then everywhere else 3,000. No, let me say 2005. So that is that for that. Now because I'm not using South Africa, I can close it here. Then when I'm done, I'll click on save settings. So this is exactly how to configure your store, your shipping and stuff like that on Kadarko.com. Thank you very much. We are always willing to answer your questions. We are always open to your opinion and ideas. So right now I've saved the settings, and I should get a successful message. Shipping option saved successfully. So that is that for that. So anytime anybody wants to buy anything and their address is in this location, for example in Lagos, they will automatically see 1,000 naira added to the money they are paying on the platform. So thank you for your time.